Hello everyone and welcome to this video, which is in our Great Engine Game series, in our Crazy Leela series. I'm Grandmaster Matthew Sadler and well, we're still looking at Leela odds games, but just actually at the middle game in actual fact. It came about from a discussion that I had with Winfish and Mr. Beads on Mastodon about, would it be possible to prepare against Leela and just deal with Leela's odds play, just always making sure you get a good opening and then you can just win the game easily without any problems. And well, I was a little dubious about that, partly because of the sheer variety of openings that Leela is playing so successfully, but also because of the nature of the challenge. And I felt that this was a really good example of it. I mean, this is a game, we're starting at move 37 here, and Leela is white. It's a night odds game. Blitz 3 minutes plus 10 seconds, so a big increment for black. And black's about 25.50 on live chess blitz. So good strong player, quite a long increment. And yeah, black's played really well up till now. I mean, the engines are assessing the position at minus 4.8. And black is still a piece up, and there's no particularly obvious danger for black at the moment. So, but just look at how Leela manages to create chances from this type of position. And my sort of feeling was looking at this was you're just never safe. You might prepare something and get a really nice position out of the opening, but if Leela can create so much play from any type of position like this, then yeah, probably you just still have to be a really good player and play really well in order to win, however good your preparation was. So let's have a look at this position. The interesting thing always is comparing it with what Torch and Stockfish want, and Torch and Stockfish are just sort of randomly sort of moving around with the rooks. Pieces are getting exchanged, and they're saying I was lost anyway, so who cares? What Leela's coming up with, yeah, neither Torch nor Stockfish want, but yeah, it's the thing that works somehow. So Leela's move in this position is to play a4, throwing more wood onto the fire, opening up lines against the black king at the cost of another pawn. Absolutely true, but yeah, creating danger against the black king. So b takes a4 played, and now the move rook b4. Yeah, I mean, interesting that Stockfish was looking to play rook a3, but yeah, just what basically happened was that black played rook dc8, b5, rook c4, and black was just completely solid here. Leela plays rook b4, and much more natural, right? I mean, you can put a rook on the b file, you can put a rook on the a file as well, and threaten rook ba4. It's just an all-round, feels like an all-round better attacking move. Now, the engines like the move that black played in this position, rook c4. Just with the idea of bishop c4, d takes c4, and then the queen gets active. And I mean, you get just lovely squares for the pieces there. So Leela doesn't do that. Leela just played rook b6. Doesn't take the material, just keeps the attacking potential on there. And black played rook dc8. The idea is, by the way, that if knight c8, we're playing the rook to a6. No immediate concrete threats there, but obviously feels a bit threatening. And, well, you might be able to play rook a1 and then take on a4 and mate somehow. Just all those sort of threats are in the air. So black played rook dc8, which is not a bad move either. Rook to b1 and then rook 8 c7, just keeping everything together. And now Leela just played the move rook a6. I was watching this as it unfolded, and suddenly occurred to me that Leela might actually be threatening the move queen b6, hitting the knight on a7. And if you go knight c8, then white could play queen a5 and threaten rook a5 mate. Yeah, crazy somehow. Just out of nowhere, somehow there's attacks taking place. So black played the sensible move rook 7 c6. Very interesting, though, to see what Torch and Stockfish were suggesting, which was the move queen b5. And yeah, you're giving back an awful lot of material. You're giving back your extra piece. but black picks up this pawn, and of course, the whole danger has been reduced. That would have been a really, really good move for black to play. That was the opportunity. And it's not obviously, it's not that that Leela isn't giving the opponent opportunities to find saving resources. After all, you're starting a piece down. What do you expect? But you really need to be good at the right moment. And when you don't take those chances, the consequences seem to just be unbelievably harsh. So rook c6 was played by black. Wasn't a bad move. White then took on c4. Obviously, if rook a6, now you've got bishop a6. So the idea is if rook takes c4, then we do our queen b6 and come in there. So black took with the pawn on c4. White played rook takes a4. And now black played a good-looking solid move. You could have played just a little bit aggressively, more aggressively, and just instead of bishop d5, played c3 and c2. That would have been quite a decent idea. Get that in already. It's not particularly important to blockade on d5, and after all, the queen's attacking d4, so that's maybe a little bit better. If you go rook a1, we go knight c8, and we're doing quite nicely. But black played a very sensible human move, actually, bishop d5, just blockading the pawn and making everything look safe, and also looking to protect the pawn on b7. But Leela started now with the irritation and played queen a3. And I'll freely confess, I didn't really I didn't spot at all what Leela was planning here. All the engines are saying that b6 is necessary here, but okay, there's a first loosening there. Who knows what you'll be able to do after that? The one thing White does have to look out for, though, is that black does have ideas like rook g6 hitting g2, and obviously c3 to c2 is another big one. So Lord knows what Leela would have done there. But black played knight c8, and I was thoroughly with black on this one. That seemed like the only natural move. But the engines now jumped to minus 0.58, so only a slight disadvantage for black. And you might want to stop the video and try and work out why that is. It's something very, very sweet indeed. Something that just caught me totally by surprise, where I was, blinking for a while, just saying, what's just happened there? Leela played rook a8 check, king c7, and then rook takes c8 check. Wow, what is happening there? Well, if king c8, we've got queen a8 check and rook b7 checkmate. It's that sudden. And after queen c8, I was looking straight away, before stuff like queen e7, but you just go back, right? So what's the danger there? No, the danger is queen a5, and it's the fork of the king and the bishop. Just very, very cunning geometry there. So, watching the game live, I sort of thought that king b8 was really the move that you wanted to play. And after queen d5, I was kind of expecting c3. Well, the engines don't want that. They want to do something about this pawn on f7 first, so maybe queen c7 first, or f6. But the king is kind of safer on the queen side there. It feels a bit counterintuitive because you've just come there running away, but it looks like the most protected part. But black played king d7. Queen takes d5, king e8. We're at 0.00 now. You just see again, that typical thing with Leela, that the position is just turning around so quickly. And here, even in the late middle game stage, where you might think, well, so many more pieces have been exchanged, surely the danger will be pretty much past now. White can't create that much. But yeah, we're actually in a very complicated position now. With king e8, I guess that black was thinking, well, let's just move the king over to the king side, get it safe there, and then we'll just push the pawn. We should still be better. But white plays queen f3, and this is a really unpleasant move. And, well, it was even more unpleasant than I'd realised. I was thinking, oh, God, that's really irritating, isn't it, to go after the pawn on h5 if the king's trying to escape over there and white's attacking this one. But it's actually rather more serious than that, because after c3, we're not taking on h5, we're going d5. We'll keep that snack on h5 for future tactics, but d5 is very unpleasant. So black played c2, which looked very reasonable, right? I mean, if dc6 we go c takes, you don't have time to take on h5, and yeah, I mean, good to get that rook passive, you know. And with that rook passive, I mean, what can white really do? Unfortunately, white's got an absolutely massive move, and now we're at 7.38 with the engines. We've got rook f1, so getting out of the of the tempo, and also threatening to take on f7. So yeah, I mean, black just can't afford to go c1 queen. I think the resource was takes, and I think we were. I mean, e6 was right. I think it was d takes c6 simply, you know, and if queen c6, we've got stuff like rook d1 check. So black played the move rook c7, which seemed quite clever, you know, keep control of that, threaten c1. But now e6 happened, just opening it all up. And if you go c1 here, well, now we're just taking on c1, and we're going queen f7 and e7 check. And e8 discovered attack check. So that's just completely, absolutely winning. So black tried something clever, played the move queen b8, and then got hit by the incredibly visual d6. So yeah, I mean, again, you know, you can't play c1. I mean, I could do anything really, but rook takes c1, rook takes c1, queen f7 check will be good enough. And black played the move f takes e6, and then we had check, and just simply queen takes b8, and black resigned. So that was, you know, I was watching that unfold, and you know, sort of from time to time thinking, no, oh my God, you know, and but I think it's a really brilliant illustration of, you know, what the challenge is. And you know, I was watching the match between David Maycock and Leela at queen odds, you know, and even at a 3+0 time control, also 1+1, you just saw that the danger was never finished. You could lose any position. Leela was finding so many amazing ways to keep not just some drawing chances, but always winning chances alive. You know, and it's so difficult for humans to, you know, visualize everything with you know, with not much time left. Frankly, even with more time, it's not that easy at all. So, and I thought this was a lovely example of how Leela keeps on, you know, putting pressure. And I think, you know, the key difference, if you're looking at a strong human player, you know, I mean, because this is, you know, quite a common situation in simmels. I mean, you often get this sort of thing where you've oversacked a little bit, your opponent's turned out to be a bit stronger than you thought, and you're in this sort of situation. But I think the key thing that's, you know, that's really so dangerous about Leela is, of course, that, you know, in a simmel, you know, you fight back, you're getting tired as well, right? I mean, you know, you're running out of steam, you're running out of ideas, but Leela is obviously never running out of ideas, never getting tired. So, you know, this happens, and then you're straight on to the next wave of attack somehow. Whereas certainly always noticed in simmels and all that, you know, at some stage your ideas are exhausted, you know, but this just somehow never seems to happen with Leela. So yeah, I mean, really haven't been as enthusiastic about something in chess, you know, for a few years now. And I mean, there've been some wonderful stuff, done some wonderful things, and but this is really quite special, you know, because as I've said before, it's something that I consider to be completely impossible, and it's just proving to be you know, an absolute revelation. So so there we are, just a little bit of a middle game for you. Got loads more games to come, so do stay tuned for that. Knight odds, rook odds, and queen odds. And yeah, you know, thanks very much for watching, and hope to see you at the next video. Thanks for watching.